Hello, Team Kyoshi. How's it going? I know it's been a while, but we've been busy just doing our jobs, living life, and in the meantime, a live action Avatar The Last Airbender came out, and we've got quite a few people asking us what we thought about it, so I figured we could take this time to talk about it. Now, most of you guys know me. I'm Jack, and making his return to the behind the scenes look at stuff. Welcome back, Kachi.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. How's it been going, man? It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been good. Just busy with work, everything going on.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so yeah, live action Avatar Last Airbender. So I know it's been kind of controversial in like the wake of how everything's been going from like the original creators leaving and cutting out certain parts of the story. What were your thoughts like leading up to the actual show itself?
Well, I wasn't too hyped, but I was also not too pessimistic either, like I was thinking, hey, if it comes out, I'll watch it, I'm not expecting too much,
that.
so
like you can tell there's work being put into this.
Oh yeah.
It's you could tell that the guys who were making the show, they liked the source material, and it really does show in the show itself.
Yeah,
but,
there were definitely passionate people working on the show.
Yeah, and also, it's kind of nice to have like racially appropriate characters, like as opposed to that other one we don't talk about. I don't know. Some people hated this show so much that like they said the Shyamalan movie was better, which I do not understand how you can hate something that much.
Yeah, that is straight up like lie. Like there's absolutely like no way by any metric whatsoever that the movie is
like
better.
Even if you didn't like the Netflix series, you have to admit it's better than the movie. Like just
yeah, the Netflix show in its lowest moment is still far ahead of the movie. I'll say that much.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I'm gonna give a little bit of defense for Shyamalan in this, and I'm only gonna say it once in the circumstance. The idea of making an Avatar: The Last Airbender movie like singular was dead on arrival, because you had to condense an entire season of what is it, like 20-minute episodes into a single 2.5-hour movie. Like, bring out the best director and the best creators out there. I don't think you could do it without just so many changes.
Yeah, I don't think even Denis Villeneuve, is that his name, the guy who makes Dune right now? I don't think he could pull it off either.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can. But I'll say though, the costume department went pretty hard for that movie.
Oh, absolutely. I remember seeing I remember like all the talks about I think it was the Inuit people like for the designs for the water tribe, and like how accurate it was to like the tribal attire they had. And I'm not Inuit. I'm not Native Alaskan or anything like that. I'm from Alaska, but I'm not like Native Alaskan. So I don't know how accurate it is, but people have been saying it is, so I'm going to take their word for it.
I'll say the new Netflix show, the costume was accurate to the show, but it looks better in the movie. I'll just say that. That's my hot take.
The costume from the Shyamalan movie?
Yeah, that's just my hot take. Oh,
damn.
I don't know. I think it's the material they use for the show, because it's very polymer and synthetic in the show, whereas in the movie they use like real leather and wool. I think the primary difference.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give you my own hot take and say I do kind of agree with you on that, because I will say I like how accurate to the characters that the costumes are in the show, but at the same time, they do very much look like costumes.
Yeah, like
it's like I can see cosplayers at a convention wearing this stuff.
Yeah, it's straight out of the show. Like it's realistic, like it's accurate to the show, but does it translate well to the live action in that format? I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe it's the materials, because, like, I know the way Aang is dressed. I know, like, Tibetan monks actually do dress like that. I've seen them around.
Right.
But
their robes are in real life are, like, super silky and stuff like that, if you see it in real life. But here, it looks like cosplay fabric, so it's like,
Yeah, so... I don't know, like, where do you really draw the line with that kind of thing? Like, do you, make it more...
Since it's not, like, supposed to be, like, a realistic show, I'll give them a pass. Like, they made it look like the show, so
Yeah, that's true.
99% of people, that's good enough, I feel like.
I think so too. Yeah. But getting into the show itself, so okay, actually no, I got to talk a little bit more about like some of the behind the scenes stuff because like I was a little concerned with what I heard them say they were going to change. Like I know one of the big things they changed was Sokka's character. Like they removed like the sexist element from him, which is like, okay, that's a choice. I mean like,
Yeah.
I mean like I'm not like I'm anti-sexist too, but at the same time, that's a character flaw, and that's what makes him an actual character. Like.
Yeah,
Like that's how he grows and becomes better.
right. The show Sokka didn't really have like any fault to begin with, but he was a good. I mean, he was enjoyable to watch. It's just that he wasn't that memorable. If that says anything.
You know, I do agree. I don't think he was acted poorly. I think the guy who played him did a great job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you were to ask me like any of the random if you were to ask me to say 3 lines that he said, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah,
Same with Katara, to be honest. Like, I don't think she was acted bad, but I do think like I don't know if I could tell you any of I don't know if I could tell you any one particular scene that stood out with me with her.
no, it's yeah. I don't know. It's very unfortunate that I have to say this, but she was one of the least memorable of the main cast, unfortunately, because she's one of my favorite characters.
I agree.
I don't think it's definitely not the actress's fault because she's a really great actress on other stuff she's been in, but I think the line they've given her were very just wooden and exposition heavy. It doesn't really bring out her personality, you know.
I know. Having worked in the director's seat for a while, I know that actors put a lot of faith in their directors, and a lot of the time, if an actor is not putting out a line delivery right, you got to remember the director has to be able to say stop, do that again, do a little better with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're not doing that, I don't want to say that shows a lack of care, but because there's a lot of care put into this,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, there's a lot to talk about with this, I swear.
Oh yeah.
But to say some good things about the show, though, I do like how true to the lore of the overall universe that it's true to. Like I think you can agree with this. The scene where we see Roku had stolen like an artifact of Ko the Face Stealer. Oh, by the way, we're gonna jump into spoiler territory, so just as a word of warning, if you haven't watched the Netflix live action Avatar, there you go.
Yeah, fair warning.
But anyway, so there's an episode where, for those of you who don't know, Ko the Face Stealer has a very different role in the story than he did in the anime. Like,
oh, you called it an anime. That's a criminal sin.
Oh,
Cardinal
God.
sin. Nah, but I mean, to be honest, it is more or less an anime. Like, whatever.
I don't know. Like, I've been watching so many live action remakes of stuff. It's kind of hard to blur what is anime and what isn't anime because before this, I watched the live action Yu Yu Hakusho, which, if you haven't watched, don't. It was bad.
Mm.
But
I don't know what that is, but I won't watch it.
It's not good. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
But anyway. So I will say, after watching the live action Yu Yu Hakusho and seeing this, it is much better. That being said, okay, sorry, I just realized I went on like a whole tangent separate from what I was talking about. Anyway, I was talking about something good about the show.
The expanded lore, like the just overall lore stuff, I guess, was pretty decent, like you said.
Yeah, so there's the episode where Aang had to return something that was stolen from Ko the Face Stealer, that was stolen by Avatar Roku, which I want to talk about Roku, but let's hold off on that for now. But anyway, the item itself was like a totem of the Mother of Faces, which you wouldn't really know who that is if you didn't read the comics, but like for those of you who do know who that is, that's a totem of Ko the Face Stealer's mother, which that's like a detail you could only really add if you were a fan of the series as a whole, not just someone who watched the show, like someone who knew who read the comics and looked into the lore of everything.
They were definitely cognizant of all the extra stuff that came out after since the original show. Like they definitely acknowledged the Kyoshi novels in the Kyoshi Island episode.
That's right, yeah. And there's a point where he talks to Avatar Kuruk, which honestly I'm just glad that Kuruk got a little bit of screen time, because he didn't really even have much screen time in the show.
No, I think he speaks like 1 or 2 lines in the original show, which is
yeah, but I like that they talk about how he had to fight all the dark spirits in there, and that's something that they only really talked about in the Kyoshi novels, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it was a big revelation in Shadow of Kyoshi, I think, from what I remember.
Yes.
And it completely changed like people's opinion on him, which I thought was pretty cool.
Right. I 100% agree.
And not just like adopting like expanded material, they also added like new characters and scenes, which I thought most of them were pretty awesome. Like some of the changes they made to the existing characters, like Lieutenant G, I liked how they changed him. And and Zhao, he was great.
So there's definitely some stuff they changed that I do like the fact that instead of stealing the water scroll from pirates, it turns out that Gran was keeping it like hidden as like a cultural artifact for Katara, like to get when she's older as a waterbender, which like that's fine. I don't mind that.
Yeah, and plus it's a TV show. They can't fit everything in from like 20-minute serialized episodes, so it makes sense to condense a few things.
There are some characters that they cut that I am a little upset about. Like, did you notice that Haru was completely absent from the show?
Oh yeah, he was. Oh,
didn't even realize. I didn't think about it until like after the whole Omashu stuff. It was like, huh, wow. Wait, where's Haru in this?
But I'll say I did like how we're able to synergize and merge everything for one Omashu or 2 Omashu episodes. They added Jet in there. They added Boomy, and they added some other thing.
Yeah, they added the inventor, which, can I just say, it was when I first heard like the guy who plays the inventor is Abed from Community, and when I first heard about that, I just laughed, and when I saw him in all the makeup, it was like, I can't take you seriously, man. You're Abed.
Yeah, I never saw that show, but I recognize the actor.
Yeah, it's a great show if you've never seen it. I strongly recommend. But yeah, no. Like, I do like that they I do like what you said when they kind of synergized all the characters and stuff into certain episodes, like, because I feel like if you were to, like, I don't know, if you gave me a blank check and asked me to do a live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'd probably tackle it in a similar manner.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably, like, I don't know what I would do differently compared to what they had.
Yeah, narratively, like the pacing-wise, yeah, it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, optimally, maybe I'll do like 10 episodes instead of 8, but...
Yeah, I think that's more of a...
budget and whatnot.
I think that was more of... I don't know. I think that might have been more of a Netflix issue, because I don't know if you watched the live-action One Piece series, but they were only given 8 episodes too, despite the monumental budget they were given.
Really? Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't really tracking any of that, but yeah. If I had more money, I guess, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
But with what they had, I think they did a pretty decent job overall.
Yeah.
Not the worst.
There's definitely some things I had to say about some other choices they made. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Roku was awful.
Yeah, I don't know why Kyoshi took his place.
Well, I don't know. Like, see, I liked seeing Kyoshi. I liked what they did with her. But man, when they brought Roku out, I just was like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, they're kind of unrecognizable from the show.
Yeah, like... So,
would you say he was like the least... one of the least least accurately portrayed characters from the show?
I'd say... So, Roku's definitely up there. I would say it's probably a tie between him and Boomy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Boomy was weird. Like, what was that about?
Yeah, like Boomy was anyone who watched the show knows that Boomy was this goofy, upbeat, like old man that was that taught Aang how to like think outside the box and be creative. And
yeah.
But in the show, in the live action show, he's this bitter, cynical old man.
He's so salty. I'm like, come on, man, what's wrong with you?
But like, And like, okay, so I have no idea if a season 2 is actually gonna happen with this now, just with the way things are.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna keep adapting the rest of the story, Boomy comes back as part of the White Lotus, and how are they gonna tie that into the way he was acting? Because like when you get down to it in the original, Boomy didn't really have any character growth, and he didn't need any. He was there to help Aang.
Yeah, he was just himself the whole time.
Yeah, so it's like, how are they gonna tie? But in the live action show, he had an actual character arc, and it's like, okay, how are you gonna tie that into the White Lotus? Are you gonna even have him as part of the White Lotus? And if so, how is that gonna work? Because Boomy's kind of a big deal in that.
Yeah. Maybe they won't have him in, but I feel like they have to. So I'm sure they'll give like some justified reason for that, but I can't think of it right now, how they will manage that.
Yeah, another one that bothered me, and I don't know what other people thought of it, was I didn't like what happened with Paku. Now, to be clear, I thought he was well acted. He looks like Paku. I won't say that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But they cut out one like major detail from his character, and it's small, but it's pretty big.
Which one was that?
And that is, like, they never draw attention to Katara's necklace.
Oh yeah, the necklace kind of became like a non-plot point in the show.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's the reason he ended up changing and like letting Katara fight. It's like there's literally no reason for them. Like, literally, when he asks her to fight in the second part of in the last episode, there is no reason that nothing happened that made him change his mind. He's literally just like, okay, fine, fight.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go Katara, I guess.
Yeah, that wasn't the most. That was kind of awkward, like the way they did it. It didn't feel like narratively smooth, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like they had to hit certain wickets, but they didn't deliver everything that needed to be there for some things to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking a little all over the place, but the show is all over the place. So I feel like it's fair play.
It goes from pretty highs to pretty lows, like highs of like 8 or 9 to like lows of like 5 to 6 sometimes.
Yeah, I will say it's hard for me to call the show bad. I will say that it's hard for me to call the show bad.
Yeah, it's decent. it's like, I don't know, average.
It's like,
Yep.
You know how Disney makes like live action remakes that are maybe not bad, but they're kind of nothing, but they're kind of like kind of pointless when you get down to it. Like, the point of making an adaptation is to adapt it to a new audience.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is you can tell that this is very much a fan adaptation, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the intended audience doesn't seem to be a new set of audience. It seems to be people who watched the original.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you're making it for the original audience, you got to give them something new. And for the most part, there kind of isn't.
No, it kind of feels like how I felt when I watched the Aladdin live action or the Beauty and the Beast live action, kind of, you know? There's some changes, but not like nothing too major. It's like you watch it and you're like, oh, that's alright, I guess.
Yeah.
I will say, like, there's nothing in there that stuck out as like super memorable if I was like a new viewer.
Yeah, like oh god, we didn't even talk about Azula, which I don't know. What do you think of how they did Azula in that one?
I mean, everything we saw about Azula mostly were new material, right? Because we don't see her until season 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I think they're showing more development for her character, which I think is always a good thing. Like, but she was quite different from what we saw on the show, so maybe they will explain how she turns out that way. But she was very different from the show itself, for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know. For me, when I watched the original show, the appeal of Azula was that she always felt like she was in control. Like, it almost seemed like nothing could really stop her. You could only slow her down as she like goes after what she wants. And I didn't really get that in the show. I could definitely see it was kind of cool to see like how Ozai was basically pushing her to be that way, because for all we know, that could have been what was going on when we weren't seeing Azula in the show.
It seems like they're trying to make Ozai a little bit more nuanced than the show for sure. Like even at the funeral scene, I could not see show Ozai like saying the same thing he said to show, but live action Iroh is like, you know how he like, hey, I'm sorry about your son and all that. I cannot imagine the show Ozai saying that at all.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you noticed this, but have you noticed that in the original show we never see Ozai and Iroh interact with each other?
Yeah, we never. Yeah, it's like they never meet.
Yeah, like, I mean, they're brothers, and it seems like they know each other, but we never see them have a conversation or anything. And
Also,
yeah, we
changes they made to like stuff involving Iroh and Ozai were one of the strongest changes they made, in my opinion.
I agree. I like the guy who played a live action Iroh. Like when I say changing stuff up for a new audience, this is pretty much what I mean. Because like, I can't compare him to Mako. I mean, I can't. But
Yeah.
at the same time, even people who've never seen the show, they'd still be able to gravitate towards Iroh because he's a good character. He's well played.
And I think Zuko is like more tolerable now than like a whiny child. I mean, there was this whole thing, but this makes the audience care for their relationship more than the show, I think, at this point in time.
So, I don't know. There is one thing I'm a little iffy on, and that is, so what did you think of like the opening scene of the first episode, specifically when they were showing like the attack on the Southern Air Temple?
I mean, it was a lot smaller in scale than I thought it would be. Like, there were only like 100 air nomads. So I was like, wait, that's it?
Right. And like, I know like they implied that all of them were gathering because there was a big comet festival happening.
Yeah.
And they were like, so, but even then, yeah, it did not show the scale it was supposed to show.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
I commend them for adding it. Like, it set the tone for it being more brutal.
I don't know. See, one of the things I know I keep referring to the original, and like I shouldn't be, but at the same time, one of the things I did like about the original is that they didn't really show anything that happened. They didn't like show any of the battles at any of the air temples, and from there you can kind of let the audience sort of imagine like their own interpretation of how things went down. There was a post that went around a while ago that was kind of viral, where it was like the theory about how Gyatso ended up like not like suicide bombing, but he effectively used airbending to take the oxygen out of a room, which is why his clothes looked so well preserved, like he didn't get scorched at all. But like he's surrounded by dead like firebenders everywhere. It's like, okay, I didn't think about that, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely like a plausible theory too.
Yeah, especially if you read like the Dawn of Yenshin, they basically confirm that's a thing airbenders can do.
This show definitely did a lot of showing, not telling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and at the same time though, there is a lot of telling where it's like you can tell, like, rather than speculating of what people are feeling or going through, they'll instead straight up tell you what they're feeling.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yes, they just did a lot of telling instead of like letting the viewers figure it out.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Trying to say. My bad.
It's all good, because in a way they do show a lot. It's just that they also kind of show it and then they talk about it. Does that make sense?
Like like 90% of the dialogues were like either how they feel or what they have to do or why they should be doing certain things. I'm like, none of this is a conversation like real 14-year-olds would have.
Right, exactly.
They're just exposition dumping, and I'm like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and that's when you start getting you're starting to get into Shyamalan territory, because like, I don't know if you ever actually saw the live action movie, but they did that a lot in the movie too.
Yeah, it's definitely. I saw it like years ago on Netflix when it came out. I think it was on Netflix. It was somewhere. Like, I didn't watch it in theater, thankfully. I watched it just to check out how bad it was. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I watched the riff track of it, and even the riff track was hard to get through because It's such a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't know what people are smoking when they say this one's better than or worse than the movie. There's no way.
Yeah, it's just it literally can't be worse than the movie. I don't think it's factually possible for it to be worse than the movie.
Definitely not.
But yeah, God, what was another big thing in that? Oh yeah, so how did you feel about the Spirit World subplot?
Which the co-episodes?
Yeah, the co-episodes pretty much, where Katara and Sokka got spirited away with Aang to like the Spirit World.
I didn't have any strong opinion on it. It was like a good condensation of like a condensing of the Spirit World plotline into one or two episodes. I liked it. I didn't have any big complaints. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I see. So so I understand when you make changes to a show, when you're making an adaptation of a show, you got to make changes.
Yeah.
But they got to be changes that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like in the show, when Aang goes to the Spirit World, he meets like Avatar Roku's dragon sends him like a message to go to this island in the Fire Nation.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. In the live action show, we never saw that. Literally, he's in the Spirit World, then he randomly is out of the Spirit World, and he flies down, and he's flying to that same island in the Fire Nation. It's like, why are we here? How did we get here?
Yeah, he just like goes by himself too, like out of random.
Like, not even... Yeah, he didn't even fly Appa. He literally just had, like... He just flew in on his glider. It's like, how far away were you?
Also, how did June get there with her Shirshu? Can it swim?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's just like she just showed up as Aang was exiting the temple. Remember that?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Maybe they hitched a ride on the boat?
And yeah, I don't know how that worked.
I don't know how it worked either. That's... God, I didn't even think of that. I forgot about June.
She just like shows up in the middle of a tropical island, far away from Earth Kingdom. No big deal.
Okay, so backpedaling a little bit, back to the talk about the live-action Iroh. So I do think he was probably the best performer in the show, but I gotta ask, did it feel a little... It felt a little distasteful for me when they said, when they played like an orchestral version of Leaves from the Vine, like...
Oh, I didn't get that feeling. I just thought it was appropriate considering the context.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's not really bad unless he started singing it, because that's not just Iroh's song, it's Mako's song. Like,
yeah. But I feel like it's a good tribute though.
I think so too. I don't know. I was kind of working through my own thoughts about that whole thing, but yeah, like I realize that we're kind of going all over the place when it comes to talking about this, but
it's freeform thought. That's the best way to talk about things, whatever comes to mind.
And honestly, there's kind of a bit of a divide with the show, because like there are some people who do like it, but then there's people who hate it, and the people who hate it really hate it, and it's like, damn, guys.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say I hate it either. I don't know if I would watch it again, but...
Oh yeah, I most likely won't watch it again unless someone else is watching it with me, but I have no reason to watch it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Here's my question. Do you plan on watching season 2 if they make one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was decent. I watched the show when I was eating each time, so it was a good time killer for me, so I'll watch it again.
That's fair. I could probably get behind that. Yeah, like, I don't know, I might check out a season 2 if they come out with one. I mean, they did passably with the first season.
I genuinely like some of the I liked Zuko, so that was fun to watch.
Zuko was good, and honestly, I just realized we haven't really talked much about Aang.
I feel like he'll be way better in the second season. He was, I feel like, very young when they were filming the first one.
I don't know. I definitely believe he was 12, because that is like that kid was a baby.
Yeah, his delivery was like very like I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes he was really like endearing. Sometimes he just felt really off, like just wooden.
Yeah, I can agree to that. He was I mean, again, this goes without saying, he was better than the Aang in the movie, so
yeah,
I'll give him that.
Him and the Blue Spirits interaction was pretty spot on, I thought.
Oh yeah, I think that was probably his. I think if I were to, I don't know, I'm not his acting agent, but if I was, I'd probably recommend him taking that scene and adding it to his like demo reel tape or something.
Oh yeah,
because that was probably his best performance of the show.
just him and Katara, they just need to like be more, I guess, animated when they perform.
Yeah,
that's the biggest
which is
thing.
yeah. That is another thing, because eventually they're gonna have to like tap into the romance between the two of them. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. They're just kids.
Yeah, it's like they're just kids, but at the same time, I think it's kind of smart they didn't steer away from that, even though there was probably opportunities for them to do something like that. Because like the nomads were in the movie, and they were all about spreading the love.
Oh yeah. It was kind of weird place for them to put that. I thought that was season 2 material, but
I thought it was too, but honestly, when I saw them, I was like, all right, I can work with this.
and maybe they'll show up again. Who knows?
Maybe.
Because they do show up in the comics.
That's right, they do.
At least one of them. I forget which one it was. I think it was the Toph one.
Yeah, it was the Toph one where she met the lava bender.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there's opportunity, I guess, for them to come back.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was to give actually, one more question. What did you think of the the bending in the show?
The effects were pretty good, but it really didn't feel like martial arts. It felt like magic.
Yeah.
Except when Zuko did it. Zuko, either him or his stunt double, did some really crazy martial arts moves, and they made it match his moves really well. But most of the times, it just felt like Skyrim magic.
Yeah, I can agree to that. Like, there's one little thing. I didn't like how they handled the duel between Ozai and Zuko.
You know, I was surprised that actually made Zuko fight. Like, he did pretty well. I was like, oh, that's a different.
Oh no, I mean, it was a cool fight, but at the same time, like, narratively speaking,
Yeah.
it's like it kind of goes against the whole thing about Zuko not wanting to fight his father, which, okay, I don't know. He seems to not be sparing any expenses on hitting him now.
They did like a little thing where he showed hesitation because he didn't want to like actually strike his father. I guess that's what they're going for.
I guess, yeah.
But what kind of made me confused was Ozai seemed regretful burning him, which was kind of weird. I mean, they're definitely trying to make Ozai more not well-intentioned, like well-meaning, but he just has different intention than the original show. I feel like
They try to play him off more like a strict parent than a villain.
yeah. He was very one-dimensional in the show, obviously, and
Yeah, I can agree. He was kind of a one-hit wonder in the show. But at the same time, also a fun fact for those of you who don't know, the guy who plays Ozai is also the guy who plays Hiroshi Sato from Legend of Korra. So that actually makes him his second appearance in the Avatar universe.
he also did General Fong from Avatar Season 2.
Really?
Yep, he's the Earthbender general who tries to bury Katara.
Right. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's like an Avatar veteran, man.
Yeah, I guess he is. He's got more experience than everyone, except maybe the Cabbage Man, which...
Yeah, that was actually perfect. They kept teasing it, and they finally said it. I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, because, like, I like that they got him, but at the same time, I think he's the character I've got the least amount to say about.
He's like, oh, he's
the
there.
Cabbage Man.
Yeah, it's literally him. There you go. That's all there is. Like, you know, it's like a dream come true, though. Like, fans' dream come true. Ultimate fan service, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be sad if there wasn't a Cabbage Man in the live action series. It's like, okay, maybe because like I feel like if they didn't, it would probably be too serious of a show.
Oh yeah, I thought they had some pretty like funny dialogues and moments sometimes, which was welcome change from the same show.
Yeah, I don't know, like how can I put this? It's good. They have good like. There's good chemistry between the actors. I'll give them
that. Yeah, for the most part, I'd say that for sure. I think the best change they did though was having Zuko's crew be the one he saved. in The war
Yes,
meeting.
I 100% agree. I think that was probably one of my favorite changes they made.
Yeah, that when they revealed that, I was like, oh damn, that's really good.
That was a legit good twist. I like that. But oh, you know what? I just realized we're a Kyoshi team, but we haven't talked anything about the Kyoshi Warriors.
Oh, I love that episode. I think it was one of the stronger episodes in the show for sure.
Yeah, like it was a little weird because like I was curious because I was thinking like, okay, they're cutting out Sokka being a sexist, so how are they gonna work the Kyoshi plotline with him? And it was okay.
They just it was funny. They made Suki just super thirsty. Like, out of nowhere.
Yeah, they didn't shy from it at all. It was like
I was like, okay,
that girl
I
was,
mean, yeah.
that girl was down bad.
I do wish I got to see Sokka in like the Kyoshi Warriors setup, get up.
Yeah, I do too. I was kind of hoping for that, but you know, I guess beggars can't really be choosers when it comes to live action stuff.
Like I said, I appreciated them paying tribute to the Kyoshi novels, but I feel like they also made her lean on too much into the meme perception of her, like her being all like super violent and all that.
Yeah, I mean, like the big like there was like this book they were reading where it was like I think it was like quotes from the Avatar or something, and it was like only justice will bring peace, and it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, that is something she said, but I feel like they took that and just ran with it.
Yeah, she was way too strict on Aang. I feel like
I think so too.
She would have been in the show.
Yeah, like this is an opinion I've had of Kyoshi for a while, and that is like so people like to meme on the fact that when Aang called on Kyoshi, she was basically just saying, well, I killed my guy who was giving me problems.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, for people who've read the Kyoshi novels, I feel like Kyoshi would have been proud of Aang's solution with stopping the Fire Lord.
Oh, 100%, because every time she had to kill someone, she was like very regretful that she had to do it, that she wasn't better, that she couldn't resolve it in a different way.
Yeah, like, because if, I don't know, we're kind of veering into spoiler territory, but at the end of Shadow of Kyoshi, she 100% would have just taken away the person she was fighting's bending to stop the fight as opposed to killing him.
Oh, 100% if she had the means to do so. Yeah, so having said that, she would have been definitely proud of Aang.
I don't know. Here's my question. Do you think they're gonna, like, for season 2, do you think they would, like, you think they're gonna incorporate Avatar Day into an episode?
I feel like that's one of the episodes that I could see them cutting.
You know, I hate that you're right, but I could kind of see it too, though. I would love to see, because the thing is, like, with a flashback of Kyoshi, we could finally get some more flashback into what her life was like. Like, we could see Rangi, we could see the rest of her crew. What happened to them after Shadow of Kyoshi?
Oh, or it could be one of like those episodes that could merge into various different storylines into a single episode. So maybe they'll do that.
It could, yeah, they could do that too.
So yeah, something with Roku's background story. They could mix it in probably or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. See, okay, like jumping back to Roku though. Like, how can I describe Roku? Roku is played off like a goofy grandpa.
Yeah, which he was not in the show.
He was not at all. He was like the stoic, dignified, like, nobility type person in the show, which
was an odd change.
Which, you know, you can understand why he was like that, because, you know, he was played off like he was played off very melancholic a lot of the time, because, you know, he feels responsible for the state of the world being what it is, because he feels like he's the one who did it. And in a way, he kind of was.
Yeah. He bears that guilt for sure.
Yeah. Now, in the live action one, would you believe this guy was the reason that the world fell into chaos? Actually...
Unless they provide like extra context, no, definitely not.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah.
I guess we don't really learn that though in season 1.
We don't learn that till season 3, yeah.
but he still definitely gave a different vibe than the live action Roku.
Yeah.
It's not
I don't
the it's not the actor's fault, I suppose. It's just
I can't blame the actor. I just feel like they're making this is very much a wow, that's a choice you made kind of thing.
the worst character who got affected by like just direction was definitely Katara, in my opinion.
Yeah, because when you get down to it, it's not like they're gonna have much of another chance with her in another episode because like that's so one other thing that kind of irked me is, did you notice that Aang didn't do any waterbending in the show?
Yeah, and I don't think Katara ever healed either, unless I'm forgetting.
So yes and no. In the first season, she does heal. She does do healing, but she only heals herself. It's that episode with Zhang where like she accidentally gets burned by Aang, and then she sticks her hands in the water, and the water starts glowing, and she heals her burns.
Oh, in the live action?
Oh no, not in the live action.
Yeah.
I think she does like one little bit of healing, and that's it.
When was that? I feel like I either like forgot, like looked over it, or
It was like right. I don't remember if she did the healing herself or if she just watched somebody else do it.
oh, okay.
But it was like when she was brought over to the healing hut to like meet the healers, and
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, they made Yue a waterbender. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean,
That's
it's not that important, I guess.
yeah.
She could have been in the show. Who knows?
Yue was interesting. Like, I don't know. This is kind of my Avatar hot take. I don't think Sokka and Yue had any chemistry in the original story.
In the original show?
In the original show,
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they just met and just kind of like fell in love.
it's like awkward teen love. So like, I'll give it a pass. But I will say, it did make me have a newfound appreciation for how they did it in the show, because the way they did it in the live action was like, good God, what is going on here?
Yeah, the romance thing was kind of like all over the place in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, the biggest grab I had was, I guess this applies to a lot of modern shows, like even the new Star Wars shows, except Andor. All the backgrounds, when they filmed it in a real set, like in Kyoshi Island, it looked amazing. But most of the time, you could tell it was just green screen background. It was very off-putting.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone did a post a while ago that it said that a lot of the sets and framing it almost looks like it was made to be set like a filter you would see on TikTok, not really something you would film with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of blurred edges around the subject, from what I noticed. Like all the background edges are blurred, and it just looks very like processed. It doesn't look like a natural lighting or anything.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Because I will say the rendering for Appa and Momo looks scary. I don't care what anyone says. Momo scared me.
You know, the CGI creatures were okay for the most part, I thought.
Yeah, like Appa and like the time we saw the ostrich horses, I thought those were fine. But Momo was a terrifying gremlin. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, the close-up shots were kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But the large panning shots of the backgrounds, like big cities, those were really good. Just that when they're close up in like a room or something, and they couldn't like, I guess, build the rooms like sets or whatever, they CG'd it, and it looks just awful. Like the Southern Water Tribe and the Northern Water Tribe, like.
Yeah, that's true. I like that they gave some scale to the Southern Water Tribe, because from what I remember, the Southern Water Tribe in the show, like it almost looked like just a couple of mounds on the ground.
It had like one big igloo and like 4 tents. Like there was no way there was like an actual tribe. Like
yeah, whereas the live action show, it looked like a legit village.
yeah, and also it had some old men in there. Like in the show,
Yeah.
there's just all women and children, but it makes sense in the show. The logistics makes more sense in the show, live action.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did really like how they got the architecture and all that clothing right for each cultures. Like when you look at all the background shots in Fire Nation, it's all very Thai inspired, which is very accurate, and I thought that was cool.
I did not notice that, but that is cool.
They definitely did their research.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's kind of like it seems like they didn't use the show as a point of reference, but they rather went to the same cultural influences that the show went to like make their to like put it into their production. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The Kyoshi Island set design was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree.
I think that's one of the few sets they actually built out, which is why I think it looked really good.
I think you're right. I think it was actually built.
Yeah, they had like a promo where they showed them building it, and they're super proud of it. And I was like, oh yeah, you did a good job, so you should be proud. That was my thought.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't see the promo for that. After the creators left, I decided to just sort of step away and let the hype build up as like a trailer came out or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see any of the behind the scenes stuff.
I think the creators leaving was like a perfect excuse for them to just commit to the Avatar Studios. I think they just got a better offer, honestly. Them staying, I don't think would have made that much of a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, as far as how they created the series, I don't know what I could do that would make it better than that. Like,
maybe hire
maybe some
writers, I guess, or dialogue writer, whoever writes the dialogues.
I don't know. I would put actual flaws in the characters so they could actually grow from them. Like, you know, give Sokka a character arc.
Yeah, Sokka was very bland.
Yeah. And like nothing to say against the guy who played him. Yeah, like the guy who acted him was good.
I could definitely see him as Sokka if he was just given a better material.
Yeah, I think overall my like standout performance from the show would have to have been be Iroh though. Like just the guy was great.
I really liked Iroh. I liked Zuko. I like Zhao. I like Lieutenant G. Jet was really good.
Oh yeah, Jet. Jet was interesting. I thought he was I like that they brought I like that they didn't just bring in Jet. I like that they brought out his entire crew.
And they're very accurate looking, which I was very surprised.
Oh yeah.
Longshot looks exactly like the cartoon character, I thought.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah. Hopefully he'll come back season 2. He'll definitely have a bigger role in that for sure.
Oh, for sure. Oh god, we might actually see like concrete proof that Jet dies in the show.
People actually die in the show, so yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, it's like I know they confirmed off screen that Jet died, but like it was very unclear in the show, but like I don't know, we might see a brutal take on like what happens to Jet in the show.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they get a good actor for the guy who kills him. Long Fang, I think his name.
Yeah, Long Fang. Yeah, I don't know. I'm open to a season 2 with this team that's working on it.
You know, I'm all for it. Just go full season 3. I'll watch it. I have no reason not to watch it. Like, this doesn't take away from Avatar Studios.
That's
cartoons.
True. Yeah.
Different resources, different funding. Like, they have nothing to compete against. So.
I know we talked about like what makes an adaptation, and that's the other thing is adaptations don't stop the old ones from existing. Like.
No, exactly.
Like. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like this doesn't replace canon. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Its own thing. So I don't see a reason to hate it, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been talking for almost an hour. So do we have any closing thoughts we want to bring up?
Overall rating, solid 7 out of 10.
Okay, you're being very generous. I'd probably give it like a 6.
6.5.
6.5. Okay, we can compromise that.
Yeah, 6.5.
It's I can't really say it justifies its own existence, but I also don't think it was anything bad either.
Like if you want some time to kill, you can watch it. Like,
yeah, like
it's entertainment.
Yeah, you'll get entertainment out of it. But so what?
Sorry, go ahead. I genuinely enjoyed many parts of it, so.
Yeah, I definitely walked away with 1 or 2 things that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what did you at home think of it? What did you think of the live-action Avatar series? Or Natla, I guess, as some people are calling it. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you for sticking around and listening to us ramble about Avatar.